Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, and now I am on book 7 of the Jedi Apprentice series written by Jude Watson. This is called The Captive Temple. Picking up where we left off, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon return to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. There was an attempt on Yoda's life. That was the cliffhanger from the last book. It's mentioned at the very beginning of this book and then just dropped. Basically, there's a threat in the temple. All of those stolen items that were kind of random that Qui-Gon was investigating in the prior book, now they're coming into play. He's figuring out why people are needing certain random things like sports equipment, Jedi robes, and whatnot. Now, Obi-Wan is accompanying Qui-Gon. He's coming back to the temple, and he's expecting the Jedi, because Yoda always said, this home, it will always be to you. And so he's thinking, okay, the Jedi will welcome me back, they'll reprimand me and make me a Jedi again. But they're not so sure. Mace Windu kind of, tears him down a little bit, and now Obi-Wan doesn't know what's going on. They ask Obi-Wan to step aside, stay in his room. He can stay on the grounds, but other than that, they don't need him. Thank you. And Qui-Gon feels for Obi-Wan like he doesn't want the boy to get demoralized, but at the same time, Qui-Gon does admit to himself in this book that he has trust issues, started by Xanatos, and it's kind of hard to overcome those trust issues because Obi-Wan betrayed his trust. In fact, later on in the book, he kind of makes a little quip about breaking trust to Obi-Wan. And I love how they do this because it's from Obi-Wan's point of view, and it really crushes him when he hears that. Then the next chapter, it picks up right as he says that, and Qui-Gon instantly regrets saying that. That was a little too harsh. He sees Obi-Wan flinch. He didn't mean to hurt him that way. I love the way Jude Watson tells of their relationship. The Qui-Gon Obi-Wan relationship is something I think everyone was interested in after we had seen episode 1. And Jude Watson just builds up, because even the best of friends, which is what they are basically in episode 1 at this point, they have, a rocky start. Their friendship got off to a rocky start. And so I just love how Qui-Gon is portrayed. You see his version of events and then Obi-Wan's version of the same events happening. That's really cool. It doesn't happen all the time, but in certain chapters it does. It's excellent. She doesn't overdo that trope, I should say. Now, Obi-Wan's back at the temple. He's seeing Brooke. Brooke is the traitor. We know that from the last book, but he can't be found. They can't figure out how he's getting around the temple. And who is helping him? Of course, it's Xanatos. Right? I told you who's going to come back. So Xanatos, it gets revealed as the villain. They find out he's traveling through the aqueducts, I think, in the temple. Bant, who is another Jedi student at the temple, who is a few years younger than Obi-Wan and just loves Obi-Wan. She's very humble. She's very quiet. She's very loving and caring. And I believe she's a Mon Calamari, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, she can swim through the aqueducts, and she figures it out. So she's figuring out the aqueduct. She's helping Qui-Gon. She goes to get help when things go wrong, when there's a sabotage on a turbo lift. She runs and gets help. The Jedi are so happy of her. Qui-Gon keeps complimenting her. And Obi-Wan gets a little jealous that Bant is getting all the compliments and he isn't, because he seems to be failing at things. He saves the children from the turbo lift, but then Mace Windu says, you acted impulsively. You should have thought about it before acting. You could have hurt someone. And Qui-Gon was like, that's right. But at the same time, Obi-Wan didn't do anything differently than I might have done. And so I just love those different points of views looking at the same situation. But regardless, Xanatos escapes as we knew he would. They're going to have a showdown with him in the next novel. But and Obi-Wan is now accepted as a Jedi or as a Padawan with Qui-Gon. They're going to try to mend that relationship, I believe, so things are, Obi-Wan comes to grips like he did do a great disservice by choosing Melinda Dan over the Jedi. And so he's learned a lot of lessons. He actually yelled at Bant because he was jealous at her. That's what made Bant run away and get captured by Xanatos. So of course Obi-Wan apologized for that. And he's kind of humbled himself now, and he's ready to rebuild that relationship with Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon, at the same time, is also ready to rebuild because he admits to Jedi Master Tal that he does have problems. Oh, by the way, 2J, her droid, was a spy the whole time. Ha ha. You probably already knew that. I knew that too from reading these. I am surprised how much I am remembering these stories. You know, not all the specific details, but the overall story arcs I do remember well. When I start reading, I'm like, that's right. When I first thing I saw 2J, I was like, he's a spy. He's a spy for Xanatos. I knew that in the book prior. And that's just good. That is good writing again on Jude Watson, because she writes a story so well that after years of not reading it, I mean, honestly, what's it been, 20 years or something? I still remember these stories like it was yesterday. That is a talent. All right, so what about the next book? Talk about that next time.